Thank you very much. And thank you to all of you who have joined us today. We've got quite a crowd with us, and it's this is going to be so much fun, I hope. So I look forward to your questions. We'll definitely have plenty of time for questions at the end. Let's get started. And before we do, I want to offer you the opportunity to check out and download our free Future PMO Planner so that you can take notes and follow along if you're interested in doing so during the presentation. You can either do the shortened URL right there or the longer one. Both of them will take you to the same place. You enter your email address, and we will send you a copy immediately of the PMO Planner that has a section for you to check off things on the list as well as take notes during this presentation. I will bring this back at the end if you don't want to download it now so that you can figure out how to get a copy right into your inbox to help you plan for the PMO of the future. Just for a second to give you time to go to the URL. It's either the short bit.ly at the top or impactbylara.com/future-PMO-info. Enter your name and email address, and you'll get a copy of this Future PMO Planner right in your inbox. So now we'll go ahead and get started. And don't worry, if you miss it now, we will have an opportunity for you to take a look at it at the end. So before we go into talking about where we are with PMOs in the future, let's talk a little bit about where we've come from and where I think we're headed. So many of you, if you've been involved in PMOs for any length of time, you'll know that there's been a lot happening in the PMO space. For example, with me personally, I built my first PMO in the 90s, and honestly, I had no idea I was actually building a PMO. Later, I found out that's what they were called, but I knew what I was trying to accomplish was helping the organization that I was working in get projects done. So we built a project framework, we built templates, we needed some project managers, and we needed to figure out how we were going to deliver on the benefits that the organization was expecting. So there's some things that have to be done to do that. And for me, later when I realized, hey, you know what, it was actually a PMO that I was building, it all kind of made sense. And I realized, well, there's this framework you can follow, there's different methodologies out there, but at the end of the day, PMOs are really there to serve the business and become part of the business organization. And for me, it was about making sure that I could deliver on the business value that the organization was looking for. So regardless of what you call your PMO, or if you even call it a PMO, I know a lot of people don't call it a PMO anymore. They'll call it a strategic office or strategic planning office or enterprise transformation group or all kinds of other names. Regardless of what you call it, there's been a history of the way that these organizations have been focused, and I believe going forward that is going to continue to shift. I know there are some earlier adopters that have started to get to the point where they're seeing some of these things that I'll mention as the future case scenario. You'll start to see some of that in some organizations if you're looking around. But there are others that have been doing, that have been around for a long time, and they're doing things the way they've always been doing them. And my caution to you is, if you continue to do things the way they've always been done, as business continues to evolve, you could be in a position where you're left behind. So let me help you, give you a few ideas that I've seen building and running PMOs now for over 20 years, and hopefully these tips and tricks will be helpful to you in figuring out how you can get it done. So with that, I will go back just for a second because I'm having some people suggest that they didn't have time to get the link. Last chance here. Here's the link to get to the presentation or the checklist if you'd like to download the checklist. It's impactbylara.com/future-PMO-info. So let's talk a little bit about where the focus is for PMOs. Back in the early days of what we now think of as the project management office or program management office, when they really started becoming popular, there was a lot of emphasis on being project-driven, project-focused. The reason that those PMOs were there was to help manage projects, right? Either in a support role or providing services or methodology or a process or tools or templates to help make sure that those projects were getting done. But then they realized that that approach of managing to the project was missing some of that interdependency that happens across a portfolio. So you started seeing more and more PMOs develop portfolio-driven focus and portfolio management techniques and best practices to help make sure that the PMO was providing more of a holistic perspective on the projects that were happening. And that was absolutely a fantastic approach, and that's where many of us as PMO leaders are today. But what's happening is that projects are becoming not just interdependent and cross-dependent within an organization, but aligned more strategically with the objectives of the organization. Projects are no longer necessarily tied to business units specifically. So we're kind of flipping this portfolio perspective on its head. Most portfolios are built looking at the perspective of, okay, these are the projects that are done in this business unit, and these are the projects done in this business unit, and we put all that together, and we create some links and dependencies between them, and now we have our portfolio. Where I believe we are heading is much more of a business strategic objective focus. So the portfolio will begin to look like the strategic objectives that need to get accomplished with the projects aligned to them in that capacity. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be organized by department or functional area any longer. So I believe there's going to be much more of a focus where everyone is starting to look towards this business-driven outcome perspective, and that all the projects and the way we align our project managers, the way we align and develop our methodology, the way our tools are set up to support portfolio and project management are going to be aligned more closely with the strategic objectives of the organization as opposed to the business unit that's actually doing the work. The role of the PMO and those that are in the PMO and leading the PMO is going to have to shift. Decades ago now, the PMO was originally developed to be a lot more of a tactical, either project-specific organization or a very project-focused organization. So that means project-specific means a PMO that was set up and established just to cover a specific project or program that required significant resources. Big project team, essentially. But there's also the project-specific one, or project-focused ones, which were really just focused on the projects themselves and making sure that we had good practices, services, and support functions to help project management. Of course, as we shifted to becoming more of a strategic business partner with the business, we developed more of those portfolio management capabilities and a lot more of that cross-dependency perspective. Many PMO leaders today will tell you that they see themselves as a strategic.
Hi there, I hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Malutis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year. But if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.